everybody. He is back. How you guys doing? This is Jimmy again on this wonderful Wednesday, and we're going to jump right into it. Last time we spoke, I promised that I would give you some additional. I would kind of break down the topic of outsourcing into sections because it is a really big section or a big idea, and each section, each kind of piece of it requires its own kind of attention. So today, one of the consistent questions that I've been getting is basically, where do I go to outsource? I mean, if I decide that I do want to outsource some portion of my life or some portion of my business, where do I go find folk? So today, I figured it'd be a good idea for me to show you, just to share some of the places that I've used personally. Um, and they may or may not work for you regardless of your business. Now, like I said, I own a real estate appraisal company. Now, in that business, I do a lot of different stuff. So I'll just use these examples. But so Fiverr, Fiverr, Fiverr.com, great place to go. Global marketplace. I use this for kind of transactional stuff. So say, for instance, I got an idea for a product or business or a company or a nonprofit logo or whatever. And I said, okay, as the name says, $5. That's what the pricing starts at. $5, you can get a logo or a banner ad or all types of other crap. Basically, you can get anything starting around that price. But to be honest with you, a little bit more, you pay a little bit more, you get a little bit better quality. That's just the way it is. I think on average now, I probably don't really go for the $5 offers anymore. I'm probably more in about the $10 to $15 offers for most things initially. For most, matter of fact, my first logo for our company, I purchased for $10 right off of the Fiverr website. So maybe that can help you. Freelancer.com. Now I've used them most recently. Actually, I had a design contest for another logo, as it turns out, and I paid. And this one was different because this was several years later. But basically, I made a contest on Freelancer.com where I said I'd pay $50, and I got 150 designs in 4 days from different designers around the world, for $50. And I only paid $150. So I chose a winner, and there you go. I mean, but think about that. Think about the power of that. You set up a contest, and 150 people from around the world take their time to give you an option of a logo. That's pretty cool. And that works in other things as well. So you can use contests to do it. 99 designs. That's actually where I got the idea for the contest. But I'm gonna be honest with you. 99 designs, they do, from what I've seen, they do really good work, but it's not 99 cents anymore. It used to be, it's not anymore. Or $99 even. When you go to 99 designs, and like in my case, I wanted to create a contest for a design contest for a logo or something that I was doing. It started at like $300. And since this was not something that I was completely committed to, I just didn't really want to spend $300. So I found other alternatives. But that's not to say that they don't do really good work, because I have some other friends that have used them and they do great work. Again, it's a global marketplace that produces stuff. Um, let's see here. Here's one. Let's say you're a writer or you want to start a blog, or you own a business and you're like, you know what? I really need to have some written text, copywriting or whatever. But you don't really have the time, energy, or interest to make that happen for yourself. Well, you can outsource that. I know that's crazy. You can outsource your writing, right? You can go to places like Text Broker. I've used them before. They actually wrote text. No, it wasn't Text Broker. It was this other one, Writers Access. They wrote a lot of the text and a lot of the written content that's on my current website. I mean, it cost me like $30, and there you go. And they wrote like 10 pages of website copywriting stuff. Now, I will say not all writers are created the same. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about before. They have a range. You can choose the lower end budget. These are words, this gets the point across, or you can pay a little bit more and get a little bit more, some better writers. It's up to you. But the point is, these are people who will offer that service for you, and they'll get it done, and they get it done relatively quickly. In my case, for an entire website, I think I had to populate 10 pages worth of content. And that was done within, I give it a week. And most of the time, quite honestly, they were waiting on me to review what they wrote. So there you go. And here's one that I use a lot. I've used them for years. It used to be called Odesk and Elance and a couple other things, but they merged, and it's called Upwork. Now, I'll be honest with you. Upwork, you can get anything done. Whatever you want done, whether you're talking about a one-off project like a logo design, or whether you're talking, I need to find me an assistant that I'm going to work with for the next 10 years, whatever, you can find that on Upwork. Now, Upwork is unique also in that not only do they provide they provide the workers, but as an employer, they provide a lot of safeguards for you too. So one, you pay through Upwork. So that means that you don't have to worry about your credit card or whatever going to somebody else or being put out in there. They're kind of like the PayPal of they're kind of like they have a little thing that's kind of like the PayPal of virtual work. So you got that. What they also provide software, and so that you can kind of keep track of what your team members doing if they're working on a long-term project for you. So for instance, I don't particularly like using that service, but if you're kind of one of those people who kind of believe that you got to make sure that, you got to check on everybody doing whatever they do, then they have that software for you. And they provide a lot of other, what's the word I'm looking for? Checking, for lack of a better word, checking metrics to help you with that. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I told you guys before, I found my bookkeeper there. I found virtual assistants. I found software developers, Excel specialists. Hell, I even found an appraiser. Guy was in Colombia. He was trained here in the U.S., lived in Colombia, and was looking for appraisal work. I mean, hey, there you go. So it all works. Okay. And this is one that I have not had as much good success, but to be honest with you, I've not really put much into it. But if you guys are familiar with a guy by the name of Tim Ferriss, he wrote the book, The 4-Hour Workweek, wrote it a few years back. If you're into that type of thing, you definitely know what I'm talking about. Tim Ferriss, in his book, he suggests he had a passage in there where he said one of the things that he did was he was looking for a chef, and so he went to Craigslist in his local neighborhood and basically put a thing out and says, hey, I'm looking for a chef that can cook vegan and Indian or whatever, and he found one, and he's used them for years or whatever. Now here's the deal. For local stuff, Craigslist is good, but it's Craigslist, so you got to be careful, right? No offense to Craigslist, but sometimes you guys have some problems, or there's some problems from some of your users that we may all want to avoid. So that being the case, I've not found a chef yet, because I told you guys that I am actually looking for one. But that is a really good idea. There are a lot of very good folk that are looking for gigs, because now it's the gig economy, that are just, that are really skilled in an area and are more than willing to provide their service to you at a very, very, very reasonable price. You might even, and this is kind of an aside, this is something that I've been thinking about. You might even want to just figure out, if none of those fit you, you probably have a friend or two that does something that's really good, that's really cool, that you would want done for you, why don't you guys figure out a way to barter? I don't know. Like again, I'm gonna use this cooking example. Maybe you have a friend that's a chef or a cook or something, and he or she does some really good meals. They're really good at that. But maybe you're really good at, I don't know, having your kids cut your grass, because again, we're outsourcing. Maybe you can work something out so that your kids can go cut their grass. They make some meals for you. Boom, there you go. You've outsourced something. You've outsourced something, right? And you've given your kids some exercise. See, it works for everybody. So I hope this helps. These are just some ideas, but the whole point is, you can do this stuff everywhere. There are places that you can go to get all types of stuff. All right. All you got to do is just be open to it. You don't have to do everything by yourself. All right. I hope this was helpful, and I will talk to you later.